Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'll say to the honourable gentleman who's just spoken that I have spent many years sitting on those benches hoping, no, not making that point, making a rather more pertinent point, which is that we didn't have the opportunity at all of interrogating Mr. Tony Blair after he'd been on the radio and the television. But today this is a parliamentary day, and I wish to share with Parliament what I think are some important points. I'd like to update the House on the government's plans for exiting the European Union. Today, the Prime Minister is setting out a plan for Britain. It's a plan to ensure that we embrace this moment of change to build a confident, global trading nation that seizes the new opportunities before it, and a fairer, stronger society at home, embracing bold economic and social reform. It's a plan which recognises that the referendum vote was not one to pull up drawbridges and retreat from the world, but rather a vote of confidence in the UK's ability to prosper and succeed. It's a plan to build a strong new partnership with our European partners, while reaching beyond the borders of Europe too, forging deeper links with old allies and new ones. Today we set out 12 objectives for negotiation to come. They answer the questions of those who have been asking what we intend, while not undermining the UK's negotiating position. We are clear what we seek is that new partnership, not a partial EU membership, not a model adopted by other countries, not a position that means we're half in and half out. Let me address each of our aims in turn. First, we will provide certainty wherever possible, while recognising we're about to enter a two-sided negotiation. So we've already made announcements about agriculture payments and student funding. Our proposal to shift the acquis, the body of EU law, into UK law at the point of exit is designed to make the process as smooth as possible. At the point of exit, the same rules and laws will apply, and it will then be for this Parliament to determine changes in the country's interests. For we also intend to take control of our own laws and end the authority of the European Court of Justice in the UK. Laws will be made in this Parliament and in the devolved assemblies and interpreted by our judges, not those in Luxembourg. We'll aim to strengthen the union between our four nations. So we'll continue to engage the devolved administrations, and we will ensure that as powers are returned from Brussels to the UK, the right powers come to Westminster and the right powers are passed to Edinburgh, Cardiff and Belfast. Another key objective will be to maintain the common travel area between the UK and the Republic of Ireland. No one wants to see a return to the borders of the past. In terms of immigration, we will remain an open, tolerant nation. We'll continue to welcome the brightest and the best and ensure that immigration continues to bring benefits in terms of addressing skill shortages where they exist. But we will manage our immigration system properly, which means free movement to the UK from the European Union cannot continue as before. We want to guarantee the rights of European Union citizens who are already in this country and make such a great contribution to our society already, and in tandem with that, protect the rights of UK citizens in EU countries, and so they are similarly protected. We'd like to resolve this issue at the earliest possible moment. Already UK law goes further in many areas than EU minimums, but as we shift the body of EU law into UK law, we will ensure that workers' rights are not just protected but enhanced. In terms of trade, we want to build a more open, outward-looking, confident nation that's a global champion for free trade. Membership of the EU's internal market means accepting its four freedoms in terms of the movement of goods, services, capital and people, and complying with the EU's rules and regulations. That would effectively mean not leaving the European Union at all. So we do not propose to maintain membership of the EU single market. Instead, we will seek the broadest possible access to it through a comprehensive free trade agreement with the EU. We want it to cover goods and services and be as ambitious as possible. This is not a zero-sum game. It should be in the interests of both the UK and the European Union. It's in all our interests that financial services continue to be provided freely across borders, that integrated supply chains are not disrupted, and that trade continues in as barrier-free way as is possible. Now, while we'll seek the most open possible market of the European Union, we also want to further trade links with the rest of the world. So we'll deliver the freedom of the UK to strike trade agreements with other countries. The Department for International Trade has already started to prepare the ground, and it's clear there is enormous interest around the globe in forging new links to the United Kingdom. Full membership of the EU's customs union would prohibit new international trade deals. So we do not intend to remain part of the common commercial policy or to be bound by the common external tariff. Instead, we will seek a customs agreement with the European Union with the aim of ensuring that cross-border trade remains as barrier-free as possible. Clearly, how this is achieved is a matter for negotiation. The UK is one of the best places in the world for science innovation, with some of the best universities in the world. Yes. So we must continue to collaborate with our European allies. When it comes to crime, terrorism, security, we'll aim to further cooperation with EU countries. We'll seek practical arrangements in these areas to ensure we keep our continent secure and defend our shared values. Finally, in terms of our exit, we have said repeatedly it will be in no one's interest for it to be disorderly, with any sort of cliff edge, a word used over there, as we leave the European Union. So we intend to reach broad agreement about the terms of our new partnership with the EU by the end of the 2-year negotiation, triggered by Article 50. But then we will aim to deliver an orderly process of implementation. That does not mean an unlimited transitional period where the destination is not clear, but time for both the UK and EU member states to prepare for new arrangements, whether that's in terms of customs arrangements, regulation of financial services, cooperation of criminal justice, or immigration controls. So these are the aims and objectives we set today for the negotiation to come. Now, so our objectives are clear: to deliver certainty and clarity wherever we can, to take control of our own laws, to protect and strengthen the Union, to maintain the common travel area with the Republic of Ireland, to control immigration, to protect the rights of EU nationals in the UK and UK nationals in the European Union, to protect workers' rights, to allow free trade with the European markets, to forge new trade deals with other countries, to boost science and innovation, to protect and enhance cooperation over crime, terrorism and security, and to make our exit smooth and orderly. It's the outline of an ambitious new partnership between the UK and the countries of the European Union. And we're under no illusions. Agreeing terms that work for both the UK and the 27 nations of the European Union will be challenging. And no doubt there'll be bumps on the road once talks begin. We must embark on the negotiation clear, however, that no deal is better than a bad deal. As the Prime Minister made clear today, the UK could not accept a punitive approach. So let me be clear. We do not expect this outcome. We are confident that if we approach these talks with a spirit of goodwill, we can deliver a positive deal which works for the mutual benefit of all. It's absolutely in our interest that the EU succeeds, and in the EU's interests that we succeed too. So that will be one of our central messages. We do not want the European Union to fail. We want it to prosper politically and economically. And we will seek to convince our allies that a strong, new partnership with the UK will help it to do so. So our approach is not about cherry-picking, but about reaching a deal which fits the aims of both sides. We understand the EU wants to preserve its 4 freedoms and to chart its own course. That is not a project the UK will now be a part of. And so we'll leave the single market and the institutions of the European Union. We will make our own laws and decisions about immigration. And let me be crystal clear today. If there's been any doubt, the final deal agreed between the UK and the EU will be put to a vote in both Houses of Parliament before it takes effect. To conclude, we are leaving the European Union, but we are not leaving Europe. We will continue to be reliable partners, willing allies and close friends to our European neighbours. We are ready for any outcome, but we anticipate success, not failure. The UK will embrace its new place in the world with optimism, strength and confidence. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.